Hi, I'm Heimbach. Back in 2010, I heard a software synthesizer that changed everything I thought I knew about synthesizers. It was the Madrona Labs Alto. While I knew about modular synthesizers before, we had a big MOOC at the university in Hamburg where I studied, for example, and I tried some software reactor stuff, the concepts put forth in Alto were new to me. It's so-called West Coast synthesis, meaning instead of taking a full signal, like a square wave, and filtering that away, like you do normally on a classic subtractive synthesizer, you take a sine wave, and then you fold that wave, and thereby adding more overtones, and you frequency modulate it, so from the simple sine wave, a complex sound appears. And then you have no actual filter, you have a low-pass gate, which is both a VCA and a filter over an envelope. The sound of the wave folding and the LPG really interested me in Alto, so I thought, is there a way I can get this in hardware? I looked at Buchler synthesizers on which Alto was based, but they were way out of my price range. So I looked into the Eurorack, because Schneider's Laden is right around the corner from me back at the time, so I knew I could go easily there and check stuff out. And I found the Maleko Wiard modules. These are based on designs by Grant Richter, and I really loved the sound. And I quickly assembled a whole rack of them. My modular developed rather quickly as I put all my effort and money into this rather beautiful way of making music. It got bigger and more diversified, but now I want to take it back to the original design with a few added features. The main reason why I want to get back to the Maleko Wiard setup is the sound. I always loved the pure, raw electric tone that comes out of these modules, and they've got a lot of space to play them, they're not cramped, and I'm just looking forward to having a modular that's analog and powerful and sequenceable again. That is why I got a new case. This lovely case was made by Clank Modular in Italy. It's 104 HP at 6U, and it's got a Meanwell power supply. And even though it's made from wood, it's rather light, because it's not that thick. And there's enough space so it can close patched. And now I'm going to assemble my dream modular from the past with a few new twists. Back when I started out, I used pressure points and brains to sequence the modular, which worked really well. But now I want to do something more complex and with the ability to save sequences. So I was super happy when Squarp Instruments sent me their Hermod sequencer, because I've been a big fan of the Squarp, which I got 2 years ago, and it's sitting at the heart of my setup. The second new model I'm looking forward to trying out is the Coherence Module from Metabolic Devices. I got this from my friend Eric. It's his first module that's just come out now. This module allows you to get a whole bunch of rhythmic and CV information out of 2 signals. It's a boon for creativity, and I can't wait to play more with it. The third module that I'm putting in is the Make Noise Morphogene. I made a whole video on that module and the reel of sounds that I made for it. So if you want to know more about why I'm putting this in here, just look at that video. So let's get to assemble everything. So let's have a look what we have in here. First, we have the Wiard Oscillator. This is a pretty standard oscillator with triangle, square, source and sine. The distinguishing feature of it is that it has got a phase modulation, so you can modulate the phase between 2 outputs, like both source. Next up is the Ante Oscillator, of which I have two because they sound so good. These have mayhem outputs. These mayhem outputs are wave-shaped outputs and they sound glorious. You can get anything from cross basses to soft oboish sounds from them. Next up, we've got the two filters, which are also low-pass gates. The Boogie Filter and the Borg Filter. Boogie, because Buchla and Moog make Boogie, and Borg, because Korg and Buchla make Borg. The Borg Filter is a low-pass and high-pass filter. The Boogie Filter has many different outputs for 12 decibels, 18 decibels, and 24 decibels. Both sound rather good. I'm going to demonstrate how they sound with the mayhem output. Same setting as 18 decibels. And 24 decibels. On the 6 decibel setting, this acts as a low-pass gate. Same goes for the Boogie Filter. And here's the HF filter mixed into. Next up, we've got the Optimax, which is also a low-pass gate, which just sounds like this. As you can hear, it's a bit more quiet than the Boogie and Borg filter, since these go up to 10 volts, and I think this only to 8 volts. And it's a bit more well-behaved than the Boogie and Borg filter, but very handy. Next up, we've got one of the best envelopes that I know in Euro, one of the most natural at least. So this is the Wiard Anvilator. I'll try to demo it using the Borg filter. Almost acoustic in the way it behaves. Here is Maths. I'm not gonna demo that. It's one of the most well-known modules. It's a dual function generator with a mixer in there. I have two of these and I love them. And I would always prefer the original version simply because I'm completely used to it and it's not confusing at all. Here's the brain of the whole modular, the Hermod. This is a beautiful sequencer which I'm running with my OP1, and I can use the sequences there, record them into here, mix up with effects, but I haven't spent much time with it yet, so I can't really do an overview. Here we have the mixer. It's just a simple Manhattan analog mixer which works well and is small and clean and sounds good. And here's the Wiard noise ring, which is one of the first shift registers available in Euro, and it's one of the most musical, I feel. The ideas and steps you get out of there are truly beautiful and fun. To get more order out of the chaos, I've got the Coherence Module here. This is lovely to take two independent signals, apply a window comparator function upon them, and basically derive gates and CV from that. So you take two independent signals and you get a lot of different variations from them. So for example, I'm taking the random bursts from here, and I'm taking a simple LFO from here, and it starts lighting up. Now I can take a gate, for example here, apply that to the filter, and now we get a combination of this and this. Which is both rhythmical and has these random bursts. Of course, we can also clock the noise ring. So now we've got a pattern going on. Now I'm adding in another gate to the second filter, and I'm giving that also an Ante Oscillator. I can divide the gates that I get from here. There's a whole lot of variation in this module, that's why I love it. Next up is Pressure Points and Brains, which is a lovely sequencer because it's hands-on, you can touch it, and you can use it to modulate very easily and well. Modulating the pitch of the oscillators. Of course, we can also run it on its own. I like this a lot already. It's fun. I just added in a quick pad from Relay Made for Make Noise, which you can check out on their Freesound project. And now I've added in the Wiard oscillator, run through the Optimax. And I'm gonna see what happens if I give it some stepped CV. Step CV coming from the coherence, attenuated through this. Now let's try some modulation on the coherence itself. Now that's interesting. And now I'm gonna just add some space. I love that this happened while I was just doing a demo. I'm going to turn this into a full track and upload it to Patreon. Thanks to my Patreons, you're awesome. Coherence, noise ring, maths, and the pressure points is a lovely combo and a very powerful sequencer, which is both modular and controllable. Once I add in the Hermod, this system will be endless fun and a true instrument I can learn and play for a long time. I'm definitely going to do another video on the coherence and maybe on the Hermod too, if there's interest from your side. That's it all for today. Thank you all for watching and see you in the next video. Bye bye.